A lot of the technology we used was digital. We used Photoshop and Final Cut Express to create our products, YouTube and Flickr to release them, and Blogger for the whole pre-production phase. Even the hardware we used was digitally based, cameras recording onto SD cards and projectors plugged straight into laptops. The only non-digital kit we used were the lights and the dolly. The hardware consisted of simple tools. The camera was of the standard digital HD variety, and as such was very easy to use. We also used a dolly and a small lighting setup. The dolly consisted of an attachment to the tripod that essentially meant that we were able to put wheels on the base of it. While it lacked a lot of control, it enabled us to achieve the convention of many music videos with a moving camera. We also used a handheld camera, partly for the home video sequence but also for shots of the band. When it came to shooting the band, we were prepared to use After Effects or a similar program to stabilize the footage, but we managed to control the camera movement enough to prevent shake. The lighting was very simple, as it merely consisted of two stands with lights on top. These obviously needed power, so we had to use gang sockets to make sure everything was safe. We also used a reflector, which is essentially a larger oval of reflective material. We used this to achieve a softer lighting effect, as well as for close-ups, as we didn't want to blind our stars. None of the group had any hands-on experience with the projector, as at the time we were working with a projectionist. But from my understanding of the kit, it was just like linking a laptop to any other form of screen, except I assume it was done wirelessly. This required a lot of fine-tuning, as we had to project it in different formats. The software was very familiar to us, as we had learned how to use it from the past year. Final Cut Express was the main tool, as it enabled us to edit the video across many tracks, meaning we were able to have all of our video files in the project at the same time, making cutting between footage and keeping it in sync incredibly easy. We also used plugins for Final Cut Express. This consisted of the aged film filter we used, as there were no filters built into the software that enabled us to achieve the right look. Luckily, it is very easy to install other filters onto the program, so we used this additional plugin. When it came to creating our magazine, advert and digipack, our primary tool was Photoshop. One of the elements we used the most was blending modes. I changed all the drawings we decided to incorporate in the album design to multiply. This makes the white background transparent, meaning that only the black design would appear. We also used another blending technique to combine a photo of a wall and a red-black gradient layer, keeping the texture of the wall but the colour of the gradient. One of the things I was interested in was making an abstract print from the designs we had. To do this, I first took the images we had and put them into the order I wanted, making sure that all the background was transparent. I then copied and pasted this a large amount of times so we had the large print, almost like a wallpaper. I then overlaid this over a smoke asset we had to create the final effect. To create the silhouette of the hand, I had to use the pen tool. I selected the pen tool from Photoshop and set it to shape mode. This meant that whatever I outlined would be filled in with a black shape. I set the opacity to about 50% so that I could see the image under the shape layer I was creating. I then had the painful job of outlining Liam's hand until I'd got it completely filled with the black. I then reset the opacity to 100% and that's how I got the final effect. One of the effects we included in both the album design and the magazine advert was a vignette. Creating a vignette is a very simple process. It just consists of making a black solid and using the oval mask tool. You then drag it over the image and invert it so that you are left with an oval of non-black surrounded by black. You then adjust transparency and feathering until you're happy with the image. For the magazine advert, we used a lot of the lasso tool. This allowed us to mask out certain areas and leave others in. We used this to crop out Liam's face and hands and guitar, allowing us to adjust each layer separately. We then toggled visibility on his hands and face, allowing the wall to show through. Even though we had access to Blogger to use as a planning tool, a lot of the planning we did was outside of technology. Mostly we just talked to the band and amongst ourselves and worked out a time to film everything. However, to organise times for filming and when we could use the projector, we had to plan through Facebook. One thing we did use Blogger for was for keeping track of our concept art and storyboard, allowing us to visualise our plan to a better extent. One example of synergy in our technology is the fact that we projected our rough cut as a backdrop.